everyone, and welcome to the KBB From the Tap podcast. I'm executive editor Chelsea Butler, and today I am joined by Tina Ramchandani, owner of New York City-based luxury firm Tina Ramchandani Creative. And today we will be discussing what inspires her designs and how she creates timeless projects. So welcome, Tina, and thank you for joining me.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited to chat with you after so long.
Be sure to subscribe to KBB's YouTube channel and click the like button on our videos. You can also subscribe to KBB's From the Tap podcast on such apps as Apple, Spotify, Pandora, and Google Podcasts, and please feel free to leave a review.
So let's start out by having you tell us what some of the main inspirations are behind your kitchen and bath designs.
Well, I would say, honestly, the biggest inspiration is travel, and the fact that we can travel again is really exciting. I get to go to a lot of places. I get to explore the world quite often, especially now that we're back. And I honestly find inspiration everywhere I go. So hotels, restaurants, architecture that I see in other locations, I take it all in and I find inspiration everywhere.
So if, travel is one of these main inspirations, can you give us a couple of examples, like a landmark or a cultural space that you have, that you've built some ideas from?
It's funny, I don't have a specific landmark, but I'll say, for example, I was just in Paris for Deco Off and Maison, and I was inspired by the hotel that we were staying in, and sometimes it's aesthetic inspiration and sometimes it's functional. So for instance, Paris has small accommodations, they're not the most luxurious when it comes to space. And I was just really impressed with how they were able to fit everything into that room and have fit everything into the bathroom. They had a niche outside of the shower in the main bathroom that I had just never seen before. I've seen medicine cabinets or shelves protruding from the wall, but they dug a niche into this bathroom and they fit everything that they needed into that niche. So, it's not always one landmark that I will sort of reinterpret in different ways. It's just seeing how other people find function in their spaces. I think it's really great.
So what about restaurants? What are you looking at when I like the restaurant bathrooms.
Restaurant bathrooms are amazing.
Yeah.
I was at the Ritz here in Manhattan, the new Ritz, and their bathroom is beyond. They have a red and white pattern floor, which is really cool. But I like to see, when it comes to restaurants, the materials that they use, right? I think that they're usually on the cutting edge of what the new trends will be, and not that I'm necessarily a trend follower, but I like to see what people are using. So materials, color, how they're mixing different elements together, the way that they're arranging their seating groups. Sometimes if you're sitting at a bar, you can relate that to how you'll design an island. And you mentioned bathrooms. I just think that there's so many little things that you can do to sort of get inspired. You get inspired by these places that you go, and you can reinterpret them in your own ways. I think it's really just fun to be in these environments.
Yeah, and I know a lot of homeowners today are also looking at, especially hotels and things like that, for the design of those spaces. But I guess I never really thought about restaurant design in terms of how you would lay out your seating area, but that is amazing. A bar that you go to, or like how it works out, that sometimes you can see into the kitchen at a restaurant, and it kind of goes hand in hand with.
It's also, you can use it for your dining inspiration, but you can also use it for your living or library inspiration. I know we're primarily talking about kitchen and bath, but when you're in a dining experience in a restaurant, sometimes they are feeling like lounge areas, right? So you can kind of get other ideas in how are you pulling up extra seating, or using ottomans with trays instead of like a regular coffee table. So there's other ways to kind of think about things.
Yeah, for sure. It makes me want to go to a restaurant right now.
Yeah, let's go.
So what are some of the best places that you've traveled for inspiration that you can remember? Obviously, Paris.
Paris was really fun. I mean, it was the most recent, and it was great for shopping. We found a lot of vintage and new pieces at the market. I found a lot of art, which I love. I love to bring art back home. I was in Bangkok over the summer, and that was really great for design inspiration because I stayed at a wonderful hotel. We stayed at the Mandarin, which is a classic. So just to see how they use vintage antiques paired with modern design it was just beautiful to see. And their shopping was great. Many years ago, I've been to Finland. I think this was really a long time ago. I think it was like 2013, but to see the Scandinavian design and how I think they actually were inspired by Japanese architecture and design and how they've married the two sort of design ideas, I just came away with a lot of inspiration, and it was a really memorable trip. But I think anytime I go to a city, I try and visit a couple design shops in addition to museums and landmarks and things, just to see what people are shopping. It's really nice.
I mean, it's got to be different. I mean, I'm sure there's differences and similarities wherever you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot more global now. This, again, I said this was like 2013. Now you can find everything on TikTok, but like seeing it yourself, there's nothing like it.
So let's talk a little bit about industry events, new product launches, trade shows, conferences, different things. Are you inspired by what you see when you attend those?
Hey, it's hard not to be. I missed KBIS. I know you went, so I was following along through other people to see what was exciting there. And I think there was a lot of great new launches. I always go to High Point Market once a year, specifically for furniture. I was in Paris for Deco Off, like I said. I try and mix up the shows that I go to because every time you're seeing something new, it's really great because you get to see new designer launches, and the way other designers, our colleagues are interpreting things are really interesting. And usually they're trying to solve a problem that we all have. So when I get to see their launches at all of these trade shows, I can easily see how they've solved a problem and how it can fit into most projects.
So you were asking me earlier before we got on this call about KBIS, and I was mainly talking about just foot traffic and that kind of thing. But what I really noticed this year that, I thought was inspiring was a lot of texture outside of anything I'd seen before in terms of, definitely the knurling on hardware and, faucets and things like that. But just, I guess countertops and just things that had like a soft tactile surface, like had little bumps on it that I saw. I think that was at Hayfella. Surfaces that looked like they had tactile, that they had texture, but then you touched them and they were flat. It was just really cool. Like that's definitely something for the touch and the sight senses for sure. I noticed that. And then, obviously a lot more color.
I saw a lot of color at Maison as well. There was a lot of color. You're right. There was a lot of texture, but there was a lot of shapes that I saw coming out of Maison. And I don't know if they're going to make their way over here. Because they're usually like a couple of years ahead of us. So it'll be interesting to see if the shapes come across in addition to the texture.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
About that either. There were some, some cool sink shapes and that kind of thing, which you're going to see, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So let's pivot over to, obviously you specialize in timeless design. So what to you makes a kitchen and or bathroom timeless?
This is a hard one. I love seeing trends and embracing trends, but I'd like to do them in a thoughtful way so people don't get bored of them or they don't get overrun. It's hard to predict what is going to last and what people are going to get tired of really quickly. Like I thought that the terrazzo might be out in a year and it's going strong, so when I'm trying to design a kitchen, I'm sort of balancing the two. So if someone is really into a trend, we'll talk about how are they going to feel in 5 years or 10 years if everybody's not loving it anymore, right? Are they still loving it? Can we do it in doses instead of doing the whole kitchen? I think textures are a timeless thing, as we were talking about. People are really noticing them now. I don't think that people were noticing this a couple years ago. But textures have been around for, centuries. So I think if we're using something that we're not going to get over and pairing it with something a little bit more timeless, right? People say white kitchens are gone, but white kitchens never went anywhere. If you look at it, everyone's still doing white kitchens. So if we're going to do a white countertop, maybe then you're pairing it with something textured so it lasts, several years. I think that's one way I look at it. And functionality, I try to anticipate how the family or the client is going to grow. And not just design for how they're living right now. If we have young children, how is your kitchen going to evolve as the children grow, right? If we start with, they're going to need a step stool now, soon they're going to be eating at the island, and then they're going to be walking around and cooking. How can we make sure that everybody can use all of those spaces? So.
Anything to do with color? I know you said white kitchens and then you might pull in some texture, but I think everybody's idea of classic colors might be a little different.
That's true. I like color a lot. I know that people are afraid of color. I just say, if you're going to do it, you really need to do it. I think that's the only way to make it timeless. If you try and do something out of fear, like an accent wall instead of the whole bathroom, that's when it's going to start to look dated. So I think you're right. Everybody's ideas of a classic color is a little bit different. But for example, we're doing a blue bathroom right now and we're going all in. I don't think it's going to look dated because we're mixing the blues and the grays, and it's all over the walls, all over the floors, window treatments, and it's going to feel like a statement. So I think, you take what you want and you really just embrace it. And I think it's going to last.
So with that example of the bathroom that you just mentioned, what are some elements that make it a little more timeless than the color combination?
So we have a classic wood vanity, classic sconce, classic medicine cabinet. So none of those have any intricate details that people are going to get bored of. So really what we're looking at here is the color on the walls and the color on the floors, and the shower system. Everything is something classic that you're going to see all around.
All right. So do you ever include anything that's not as timeless? Maybe it's something, again, a statement, or your clients want that. Do you ever break your rule?
Yeah, we're doing something a little wild in the same apartment. We're doing a teal and blue patterned floor in the laundry room, which it could be, it's not for everyone. I'll say that, but this client really wanted to have some fun in the laundry room. So we're going a little wild in there. It's not timeless. It's on trend right now, but I think that because they really, really love it, they're going to be good with it for a while.
And I suppose a room like that isn't necessarily, I don't know, I guess to me, that's kind of like a powder room, but opposite a powder room. Like you want some of these little spaces to kind of stand out a little bit. And obviously you're doing chores in a laundry room. Yeah. So the more exciting that you can make it. I was going to say, I know a lot of people like to, have their powder room stand out because their guests get to see it and get to see that as part of their personality and stuff, but not necessarily the laundry room wouldn't be something. But I suppose your clients are probably going to invite their friends to come, hey, come see our laundry room floor.
Yeah. It's, we always make a statement with our powder room, but I feel that when we do design a powder room, we do build it to last. The laundry room is back of house. So you don't really if in a couple years you don't want to show that off anymore, you don't have to. I think it's for you. And so if the trend is a little bit over, it's okay. But yeah, I think it's fun to have fun with these tiny spaces.
Yeah, a friend of mine just did he's in construction management, sent me a picture of the little laundry room space. And I was just like, wow, that is so cool. I think it's just behind two, sliding doors. I was just like, wow, I can't believe that could look like that. I'm thinking of mine right now. It's just white and boring, but I'm glad I have one. Not everybody has a laundry room. So.
Yeah. In Manhattan, we don't have a laundry room over here, so I'm a little sad.
Yeah.
I would make it fun.
All right. So let's end the conversation by you telling us about a few design trends from the last few years that you would like to kick to the curb.
So I think that Moroccan tiles, I'm a little bit done with. I'm also getting over the cement tiles that we're seeing everywhere. I don't mind cement tiles in a fun finish or pattern, kind of like the clay tiles, but that Moroccan look, I'm a little bit over it. I think we need to come up with something new here. And the faux wood tiles, I never really got behind them. So I'm glad that they're disappearing. I would much rather do wood or just do a fun tile.
What do you think about, I've heard both, like about waterfall countertops, like people still embrace them. And then some people are like, I'm really tired of those.
Oh, I'm not tired of them. I didn't know they were out, so I'm still doing them.
Yeah. I saw a picture of one today that I was just like, that's fantastic. So I think, you know, everybody has their opinion. And then somebody brought up something recently about boucle. And I have to admit, I don't know what that is.
Boucle is that nubby fabric that you're seeing everywhere. Okay. You're seeing them a lot on like curved sofas and curved chairs. Okay. I have no problem with it. I heard that people are over it, but I think that for my clients that love the comfort look, I think that, you know, they're still into it. I'm not over it. And waterfall, if you have a really fantastic stone, then that's a really great way to show it off, you know?
Yeah.
I understand, you know, if you don't want to do it in a quartz, if you just want to stop it at the countertop, but if you have something really dynamic, then the waterfall is cool.
Yeah, the one I saw in the picture today was some sort of stone, natural or man-made stone for the majority, but the waterfall portion of it was a really pretty wood on the side.
That sounds great.
Like, that is really cool. And I still love when, you know, you do a backsplash of the same countertop material up the side.
Oh, yeah.
If it fits in that particular kitchen, I just think that's really dramatic, and it makes it look so high end, I guess.
Yes. Yes. No, we're still doing the same material as backsplash. So I didn't think that was out. I don't know. I missed that memo. I'm still into it.
I don't know. I mean, again, those are things that I have my own opinion on them. Wanted to see what you felt too, because I still love those. And I think waterfall countertops are pretty cool. So again, maybe it's just little things here and there where you could pick apart. You know, I've heard people are over the whole modern farmhouse look, but if you have an updated modern farmhouse look, then maybe it's okay. So
it's also how you're pairing the things, right? So like I was saying before about the trends, if you're doing it in doses with something classic like a waterfall, it looks cool. You know, you just have to think about how you're putting everything together. But I mean, that's with anything.
Right. And everything we're talking about today that we love, we'll be sick of next year and vice versa. So.
I hope not. I really love it today. So
maybe we, you know, we've had a lot of change in the last couple of years. So maybe we can just, you know, stay put here for a little while.
Yeah.
That might be nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you talking about your inspiration behind your designs and how you stay timeless and all that good stuff. And I can't wait to see you in person as soon as we can.
Thank you for having me, and I really hope we'll see each other again soon.